We'll begin your highly anticipated, regularly scheduled programming in a minute. I wanted to take this opportunity to bring your attention the importance of Mug Club. You've all seen it. Hand-etched, painted, girthy, asbestos-free. But in light of the 4 copyright claims on our Oscars stream and archive that we received within 24 hours of each other this week, as well as being the subject of a national news story regarding Facebook's live video suppression algorithms, I want you to know that Mug Club has never been more necessary in our ability to fight back than today. Join up for less than 27 cents a day at louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub and make your voice heard. Also, it is my duty to inform you that the episode you're about to see includes graphic, half-Asian litigious content not suitable for younger viewers and or viewer discretion is advised. Louder with Crowder Studios, protected exclusively by Walther and Hopper.
Somos Mug Club. No los mariconas. YouTube heroes.
Eu não sei. Era Boombox. Você não era pera da Susan Wojcicki.
El abogado mixto. ¿Por qué no hay un trato con la LPNC?
A 900 organizaciones como Grupo Sodío, la mejor oportunidad de tumbar al Mug Club.
Se trata de Carlos. Se lo come mi abogado, chino mixto.
With Mug Club growing into the largest pay service subscription model on the internet, not only did Blacko Mugskabar find himself on big tech's radar, but straight in the crosshairs of the SPLC. See, the SPLC are arbiters of what's determined hate speech and allowed on the platforms. And they decided that Blacko had to go.
Blacko! Miss Wojcicki said I should be expecting you.
So para Mug Club. No LS, PLS.
Ah, yes. First it's the mugs, then it's the bottle. And nothing's safe.
Okay.
You want free speech, right, Mugskabar? I get you. Explain something to you, boy. Free speech leads to hate speech. Hate speech leads to bigotry. And bigotry, that leads to violence. We don't need your kind of violence on our platforms.
Tus plataformas?
Blacko, let's stop with the games. YouTube, the SPLC, you know we're one and the same. My friend, you gotta understand that the First Amendment wasn't made for people like you. It was made for good people, fair people, people like me. This ain't complicated, Blacko. Free speech hurts people. I ain't never really cared about hurting people. I care about that. What do you wetbacks call it? Dineros? You gotta make a decision, buddy. What you fixing to do?
That's called the, you want the squeegee? I'll squeegee your, you don't want me to squeegee your windshield? Are you sure? That's what that is. Actually, I realize we actually have my half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond, here, so I have to make sure that our wonderful sponsor, Walther, so you can see it's unloaded, it still does have to be facing you. Thank you, Walter.
I think he's okay.
Like, I don't know if we're happy about this. We're not practicing firearm safety. We're going to have James O'Keefe on the show today.
Nice.
Question of the day before we move on. This is a special episode. It's a legal update episode because, oh my God, it's been a week.
Damn straight.
We'll get into all of the false DMCAs as well as the Facebook, all of the recent deboosting of our videos. But my question to you is, which sin do you think is the most egregious? Are you tired most of the DMCAs on YouTube, Facebook's lack of transparency, or professors like Charles Hermes? Because someone getting sued, Larry. I want to make sure that we understand here.
All of the above.
We are beyond the point of playing nicely. Hey, we have Pantelis Comedy here. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. I'm happy to be here.
You're aiming to get over 1,000 YouTube subscribers. It's Pantelis Comedy, right?
That's it. That'll be great.
And he writes for the show. Actually, he's one of the few writers we have helps us behind the scenes part-time.
Nice.
He's brilliant. Greek from Montreal. I used to hate the sound of this kind of accent. Now it makes me homesick. Quarter Black Carrot, show me your hood pass.
What's up?
Terrible. Gerald Morgan Jr., how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Wine of the day is...
Wine of the day is more like Cortevelle.
Cortevelle. It's an accent aigu. Is he pronouncing that correctly, Pantelis?
Aigu. Yeah.
Aigu? Yeah,
Aigu.
it's close enough.
It's correct.
Valet. And
got two E's, I don't know.
we have my half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond, here. People are really excited for you to be here.
Hi, friends.
What I always find funny is that before he's always completely off the wall, and then he tries to get professional once we go live.
He's like, it's real buttoned up right as the show starts.
Well, before we move into all of the legal updates and the potential legal actions, our hashtag Crowder anti-Oscars party, the costume winner was Chase Huckle. Is that how it's pronounced? Chase Huckle. Sea Shark 13. We have that over. We have that image there.
Nice.
He had a Tranny Bane costume. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Look at him. Big fan. And then the best Bill Richmond, half-Asian lawyer Bill Richmond art contest winner is Conservative Jedi. I think we have that right here. So you guys are going to be winning a T-shirt and or mug. I don't know exactly.
Something.
Definitely something.
This is a whole different show today. But we have 7+1, by the way, to get to.
Nice.
After James O'Keefe, 7+1 top big tech legal dramas.
Nice.
A little bit of a theme here.
That's going to be cool. I like that.
I feel so bad because Pantelis is from Montreal. He calls in by Skype and he works with the pitch meetings every morning. And then this week, because of all the shit that's been going on legally from the Oscars live stream, which we'll get to in a second, Pantelis was here and he had very little to do because we weren't able to do the shows.
But I got to live Texas.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're in California. I'm not uncomfortable with this. Did I already ruin the show? No, I'm glad you got to come. But we'll have you back out here soon, I hope. What is this? This is a very bizarre story. We'll have you back out here soon, right? Right, Pantelis?
Yeah, of course. When legal troubles are done.
Yes.
Come around.
That means you'll
we're
never
suing
be
you.
back.
Yes, exactly. You're next on the
After
list.
I get sued,
Yeah, just now.
I also thought,
Your
by the
legal
way,
troubles or,
we're going to make
Steven's?
a beer from Brodigan's beard.
Yeah.
We might want to take some yeast from your beard and do a control sample and see which beard yields the tastier beer.
That's a good
It
idea.
sounds somewhat disgusting.
No, it's not. I've had beer before. It's delicious. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I
No,
said
I've had
somewhat.
beer from some guy's beard.
Is this like your
before.
experimental college
No.
days?
It was Rogue. Someone out there can tell me. I think it was Rogue Brewery, but I thought, this is the last time I sent my wife on a beer run. Punch her in the face a few times to let her know what's what. Gave her a fresh one.
No.
And I was like, this beer is delicious.
Really?
Yes.
Well, every time I hear something like that, it makes me think. We did a story about a woman who made it with her yeast.
Oh my
I'm
God!
not kidding.
No,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what?
a
I'm
true
talking
story.
about
You're
an
just
actual
reading
thing.
BuzzFeed
You
titles
were just
now. Come on.
I'm sorry,
No, we really
Why
Pantelis.
did you have to cross the line like
I
that?
have no
Listen,
idea. I have
jeez.
no
The
idea.
line was crossed with me on the show. I
My
had to deal
legal
with it.
representation is
time.
present. You think this will bode well for us in a court? They're going to show a clip from you,
course.
you sick bastard.
That's true. It'll show them behind the scenes.
All right. So listen, this is why half-Asian lawyer Bill Richmond is here. How are you, sir?
Wonderful. Glad to be here.
So let's explain for people who don't know. We have a few things to get to. What happened on YouTube while you guys have not seen the Oscar stream. And by the way, they're biding their time, hoping that by the time this last false strike on our Oscar stream is removed, you guys won't want to see it. Make sure when that Oscar stream is up, you like it and comment till the cows come home so they see that, you know what, they don't get to play this game. But we'll move on to YouTube as well as some other issues that have been occurring here behind the scenes. And it's just gotten to the point where our legal battles, we're at the point we've had you on retainer. You're probably going to be coming on full-time. It's really becoming a full-time job. Explain for people before we get to Facebook and James O'Keefe, the Oscars live stream. Explain to people what happened there.
Well, I mean, it's a multiple battle war that we fought over the last kind of 72 hours. This week has been pretty nuts. But just on the stream itself and then the archive, there was an initial takedown. I think a lot of folks, a lot of the followers, and audience, and fans saw that it got cut down right by an ABC Disney strike, copyright strike. We're saying, hey, you're violating this and that. Shut it down right in the middle. And just to focus right on that, the kind of arc of just the ABC Disney, we get the notification. The next day, we file a counter notification. We work with some of our channel partners. We get in there, start talking to the YouTube lawyers,
well, before you go, let me say there were 4 strikes. Yeah. 4 strikes effectively on the same piece of content.
Yeah.
Correct.
4 strikes on the same piece of content within 24 hours. 3 of them have been retracted or struck down, whatever term you want to use. 3 of them.
Yeah, especially the one that happened during the live stream that cost us to be able to live stream on YouTube when we had 40,000 people watching.
But this is important to note. We were well climbing to 50,000. Yes. This is important to note. And there was a hard strike. You get 3 of those, I think, in 3 months. We're no longer able to broadcast to.
Period.
So all of the strikes, we should mention this, that are hard legal strikes, where when you file a counter notice, that's, hey, see you in court, and they're legally liable if it's a false strike. They're all gone. We've never lost.
Okay. Yeah, so we get this one, the first one of the 4. ABC Disney comes in, everything just blows up on Sunday night. Then on Monday, we're following the things that we need to do. Everyone's getting crazy, going, trying to investigate what is ABC Disney doing, reaching out to YouTube. Come Tuesday, they've dropped it. They've withdrawn it. They've looked at all of our arguments, and they've said, oops, we're done. They drop it. Well, that's just the first of the 4. So within the stream itself, after the ABC Disney one comes off on Tuesday, the Academy Awards decides that they want to have
the same claim.
Chance. Yeah, exact same
and
claim.
I don't know that they're not run by the same parent company. I'm not entirely sure. The Academy is. Come on, they're in.
Either way.
He can't say it. I think they're in cahoots. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah.
It's not outside the realm of possibility.
I mean, look, they're obviously financially. There's no secret. It's not even to be critical, but they have a network. The network's doing an event, and they're streaming the event, and the event is the Academy Awards.
Right.
So now the Academy comes in after ABC Disney has given up and says, "Oh no, we're going to keep you down on the mat." But within 24 hours, again, we unleash the whole thing again, and they file a response back to our response, so a reply, if you will, that says, no, we're totally right.
4 minutes later.
Oh, no. 48 seconds later.
48 seconds later.
The claim is dropped.
The claim is dropped.
Off the stream.
But that's not it.
That's not
all.
the whole story.
No, that's just 2. That's just 2
of the 4. Hold on, let me interject real quick.
Yeah.
So people understand this is a tactic that they use. So this is great that we're able to get these strikes removed, right?
Yes.
You can't go back.
All but one.
Right? You can't go back. We can't go back to Sunday night and get that live stream
back.
True. We can't get those
go
people
back
watching the show.
And that's what's so
and you can't do
bad.
anything about it.
Let's go through the strikes, and then I want to get into that and any questions you have.
Sorry, I'm just
so that's
fired up.
Number strike 2, and then we re-uploaded the archive, right? Because the stream was cut at an hour. So, we're going to re-upload the 3 hours.
Well, everyone kept working. Everyone kept, putting their contributions together.
Everyone here, by the way, worked tirelessly all night because exporting a 4-hour HD file, re-export, took all night. They were supposed to have a day off. No one's had time off. I'm incredibly appreciative to everyone, even Brendan. Continue.
Number 3.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming now after the archive, right? They've said, okay, well, we're able to cut you off in an hour and a half on the stream, but now you've got the full thing. You're uploading it so that the people can actually see what happened, and they throw the same ones in again. So we've got this Academy coming in. ABC Disney, though, appeared to have learned their lesson, and they did not attack on the archive. So, but the Academy goes in, they do theirs. Now they've dropped theirs again, and then we had a 4th one on the archive, which is still there, and we're still fighting right now.
And to be clear, though, the 4th one, and this is why this is so important for people to understand, there's a broken YouTube system, right? If you file a hard strike, and for people out there, I know a lot of people are looking for legal representation, and we're planning on trying to provide some more assistance to other people out there at some point. We're just not there yet. Join up at Mug Club. We'll have more infrastructure. But the hard strikes, that's different from a copyright claim that demonetizes you. Right. Almost all of our stuff is demonetized. We do a parody video. They demonetize and say, you use the Rocky track. It's like, but we did a direct parody of Rocky. We know it's fair use. Right. On that point, by the way, Transformative, do you have the numbers from the Oscars? What it was, the actual numbers? It was a 3-something hour stream.
Yes,
less
it
than
was
2 minutes, I believe.
It was 2 hours and 34 minutes of our content.
Meaning sketches, totally original, non-Oscars at all.
31 minutes of commentary, just us talking about it.
So visual, what I would say,
visual
and audio overlays that transform the original work into something that is a new work and is critical of the original work. Okay.
I had to fit into a
4
Freddie Mercury
minutes.
slash Eddie Murphy raw leather jacket. That's transformative.
Yes.
Everything about it was transformative.
I was a trophy.
I know.
Okay.
We were all
I was
transformed.
a cat.
Yes, it wasn't nearly as...
4 minutes of total time of the Oscars being full screen on our screen.
Right.
4 minutes. That's
4
it.
minutes, and that means with no commentary at all?
No, with commentary.
But still with commentary.
Still with commentary.
How many minutes of just the Oscars without commentary? You could count it in seconds.
Is that like 1 in 124? Is that
Yeah,
like
I don't know. I don't know what it is. So would that
percentage,
qualify
or-
as transformative? Because again, you just can't rip people's content. But the law is it has to be transformative. Would that constitute transformative?
I mean, well, it's not only transformative, but one of the other factors is how much of the original work are you just showing wholesale? And that's what you're doing is you're coming in, you're commenting, you're adding visuals, you're actually specifically critiquing the work. And so of the few minutes, or really actually seconds when you break it down, a few seconds of clips here, a few seconds of clips there, where you're literally taking a breath between comments.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that adds up to over, almost 3 hours.
I think the
of
most amount of
content.
time we watched was Rami Malek's speech because we said, he
Yeah.
seems like a real class
very good
act.
speech.
And
That
we
was
commented
it.
during it too. We were like, "Oh, that's a good thing," we
clapped.
clapped.
We're like, "Oh, we
We'll
like
give
this
you
guy."
one. We'll give you one Oscars. Were you watching it from
Yeah, of course.
until it
No.
got shut down?
I'm the one who got it shut down. I'm the one who told ABC about it. But
Nice.
you know what I got a question. It's for you, Half Asian lawyer Bill Richmond.
Yes, sir.
If they're repeatedly proven to be false claims, right? Is there a legal recourse for us to be like, hey, listen, man, this is 3-4 times. Obviously, it's on purpose.
So there is a whole procedure involved with doing that, and one of the things is that we can get involved with. Sorry about that. So we can get involved with going after some of these random accounts that are doing small fake claims, and maybe they do 1 a month or 2 or 3 a month. And look, we've got a lot of things that are happening. We can take away from dealing with this, or we can go back in the war room and start dealing with these. But when they get to a level like this, when you have major companies that are coming in and saying, "Hey, we really don't like you creating new content and transforming our works in a way that appeals to this audience," that's when we have to stand up and do something different. And here, it's an indictment of what they are doing themselves that these claims get dropped so quick.
Well, here's the thing. They know all of the claims are bogus.
Right.
This is what's important for people who are out there. This isn't just about us. We'll get to Facebook in a second. We just happen to be an example, unfortunately, because particularly on YouTube, we're the #1 conservative channel, so we kind of are the blueprint. But tomorrow it could be you. One of you could be the blueprint. Once you get popular enough, they will come for you. And they're coming for all of us. That's what's important. That's why we have this at the Leto Crider shop, the deplatform this shirt. Mug Club and our sponsors like Walther keep us in the game. We've been demonetized on a lot of content, a ton of content.
And that's not small money, by the way.
No, and it's not small money.
And increasingly,
that being
lately.
said, and that's really easy to do because they can say, "Oh, we're going to claim this, we're going to claim." There really are. There's no recourse. Now, when they try to hard strike your channel, that's where they affect. Someone has manually submitted a legal notice, and we, Half Asian lawyer Bill Richmond, manually submits a count. Is it a counter notice? What is it?
Counter notification.
Okay, counter notification, and at that point, it goes to the courts. In other words, at that point, it's like, okay, listen, if you are lying here, now we're getting into legal hot water. They said, okay, we don't want any part of this. We've never lost. They've always retracted those. The thing is, it's the same claim on they retracted the hard legal strikes on the stream. It's the same claim on the archive. It's just there's no recourse because it blocks it in all countries. They're saying we're not hard striking your channel. We're just blocking it in all countries so no one can see it. And what do they have? They have a month to respond, something like that. It's a broken
on
system.
the non-hard strikes, they've got a month to respond, and then there's a different process related to it. But ultimately, that is why it's a criticism of YouTube's system because when you think about it, like all the history of what we have done over the last year, 18 months, 2 years has been time and time and time again demonstrating how these claims are bogus. They're just used to disrupt business. They're used to make people have to stay late for the show to have to pay more people and do more resources and redo work and ultimately disrupt the audience. And even though they know it's not ultimately going to stop us, they know it is going to have a disruptive effect. And it's the only thing they can do, so they keep doing it. But how do they keep doing it? YouTube allows it to happen. So it's not a system where despite 10, 20, 30, 100 false claims that we've won every time, and so they have to affirmatively prove it before we get affected. It's still we get affected, and then we have to come and prove it the other way.
Exactly.
After the stream is over, 4 days after the after the event has occurred.
And this is pretty consistent across the board, by the way, disproportionately with conservative channels. We went out there when that lady came up who was talking about her, was it Ain't It Cool News? She came out, and we said, have you been affected at all by the apocalypse? She's like, no, not at all. And I have someone I contacted at YouTube, like, could we have a name?
No. That's so cool.
Well, look, and it's a time-sensitive thing, right? So the Oscars, they happen. People kind of move on from it. Obviously, the show's fun and entertaining. You can go back to it. Think about it this way. Think about if we're talking about a presidential election or a Senate election or some bill that's trying to be passed in Congress, and they're like, we're commenting on what they're doing, talking about it, or if Congress is putting something out for us, we're commenting on that. They can shut us down so that we can't influence people.
They tried to shut us down once with a presidential debate.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, here's one thing too. Horrible. This is a tool that's disproportionately used by the left. This is what people need to understand, because conservatives don't go out and try and abuse the system. You can find more content than you could watch in a lifetime. Everything from calling me gay to a secret transvestite to a part of the Illuminati to a Nazi.
Secret?
We don't go. Come on, let's be honest. We just don't have enough. We just don't have enough female actresses here.
Nice.
But we don't try and shut those down. You don't try and shut any of those down. We actively, as a matter of fact, one time someone ripped an entire show, and we just reached out to them and said, "Hey, listen, man, I appreciate the zeal, but could you take it down because it's our whole show, and we'd rather you just maybe take a clip and direct them to our show." This person put up a clip instead and directed them to our whole show.
Perfect.
We go out of our way to make sure that we are following the kind of fair use rules that we preach. I'm just going to tell you something here. We're not talking about information. We're not talking about a request from somebody getting sued. Your glasses, your teeth, something getting f***ed up, Larry. That's why we got Half Asian Larry, Bill Richmond here. Nice. Is there anything that you think I've missed on YouTube? Because now this moves us on to the big thing that many of you may not know about this week, if you haven't been following James O'Keefe, is the Facebook issue. So all week, picture this, if this were your job, okay, and you suck at math, which, okay, I do as well, and someone said, you have to do math all day. That's your job. That's been my job this week, is going back and forth with Bill on legal issues, going, well, what can we do? I'm not good at this. I want to focus on creating content. I want to focus on creating more shows. And this week, we were precluded from doing any of that. And poor Pentelis was here. He just wanted to have a good time, just wanted to tell the jokes, as they say in Montreal, the Greek sound. And instead, he's sitting here going, what's happening with your lawyer? I can't believe it. That's bullshit.
That's exactly what I said.
That is literally a quote.
Pretty much exactly what you said.
Bro.
Okay, so we had YouTube, and then we have Facebook. Well, let me give you a little bit of history here with Facebook. I guess, Bill, why don't you jump in kind of on the general history with Facebook before we're going to have James O'Keefe on to talk about the most recent. I don't know. At this point, is it even a sin? At this point, what do you call it? Did you just call it? I mean, it's dishonesty. It's just, I don't know. Go ahead, Bill.
So immediately after we met in the Half Asian Zone, we dealt with the Facebook debacle, and a lot of folks were around then. A lot of the early longtime fans knew that there was there was a suspicion that things were not going right. And at the time, before the Gizmodo article came out, you were
I didn't know you. That's how I met you.
We did not even know each other. And at that point, you finally realized, okay, after months and months of trying to figure out why is my whole advertising platform being threatened through Facebook? Why is all of this negativity happening? Why am I literally sending them hard checks with money?
This is important for people to note with Facebook. I've run ads on Facebook for years. And what happened was all of a sudden they came to me and said, hey, you didn't pay your tab. I said, well, hold on a second. You've charged me for 2 years every single week, and you've charged me every single week thereafter. There's just a 2-week gap. I don't know what you guys did, but here's my credit card. Here's my PayPal. Fix it. They said, we can't. You're not good on your tab. I said, well, hold on a second. Well, here's another credit card. I don't know. You have to talk with accounts. And I said, okay, hold on. Let me talk with accounts, but you're still charging me for ads. They would not answer the call. They said, we're going to put your account into delinquency. That means creditors go after me, can destroy your life.
Yeah.
What did I do? Your good friend Jordan said, mail them a check physically to accounts payable. They deposited it. I think we have it as an overlay here. And then they still said, your account isn't in good standing. I'm like, well, hold on a second. You've taken the money, and you're still taking money for ads. What do I do? And then the Gizmodo article comes out. This was in 2016, where I was named as someone. And this is one thing, Alex Jones was on Joe Rogan, we were talking about. It was like, we're gonna get in that in a second, Joe. Choke me out, okay? Interdimensional elf demons. I actually thought it was very entertaining.
They're interdimensional demon elves.
Interdimensional aliens. But I'm not talking aliens.
It's the Clockwork Elves, man. The Clockwork Elves.
Okay, Joe.
There's a lot of this right now. It was wildly entertaining.
Your face is not red enough for that impression.
But I don't even. What was I saying? I was saying something before this. Oh, okay. So this happened with the Facebook issue, and then Gizmodo. There was an article leaked where we were manually selected as a page to throttle. It was Ted Cruz for president, Chris Kyle Foundation, and myself. And I called Bill, not knowing what the time, saying, I don't know if this is related to the accounting issue, but can you tell me what you think? And he says, well, let me check it out, and I'll call you back. And then you call me back, and you said, yeah, this looks really bad.
Well, you get a call, and you hear something like this, and you think, crackpot. And then, but you can imagine, I get a lot of calls that are, some are, got credibility, and some don't. And so you got to check them out. And when we started to look into it, and we started to investigate, and we started to say, if you investigate it as a true thing, what are the things you could use to verify that this is the way that it's happening? And when you looked at, I mean, before I even got involved, you were time after again, message, money, card, check, nothing.
Yeah.
And then Gizmodo just confirmed the suspicions that you had at the time that there was something happening. And what the big part here is that we've always said this, right? You know, people use the term censorship, which we understand is a governmental thing versus a private company thing.
Right.
And hey, this is their sandbox. They can create certain rules within under the Constitution, federal law, state law. They can set the rules for their sandbox and say, I'll invite you in. You can spend some money here. It'll all be good. But the problem is when they say the rules are A, but they're actually enforcing a set of rules called B. And that's what happened here. They're telling you, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars of your money to build your business on this platform because here are the rules. But in reality, the rules were different for you.
Right.
And Breitbart and Chris Kyle
And by the way,
Foundation.
and a lot of conservatives out there, we've seen this disproportionately target conservatives. We'll talk with James O'Keefe about this. This isn't just about us. It's about anyone out there. If you've had suspicions, unfortunately, we have the resources to have confirmed quite a few of these suspicions. It's happening, I don't want to say across the board, but it's certainly happening a lot to conservatives.
Yeah.
And a lot of people out there, they say, well, I don't know, and there's no way to prove it. Well, you do have to take legal action, and we've done that in the past, but I think it has to get a lot more severe going forward. Imagine this is your work. You own a factory where you make chairs. Okay, and you agree to a lease, you build up a factory, and they come in, you have a 5-year lease. At year 2, they say, by the way, we're going to quadruple the lease, what you're paying. And you say, well, hold on a second, we have an agreement. They go, nah, there's a loophole in there. But hold on, I paid for this. We had an agreement. That's what's happened with Facebook. That's what's happened with YouTube, is we've come to an agreement largely because they've courted us. They wined and dined us and sent us to New York.
Not just largely. I mean, the Facebook emails, I mean, they're basically getting on their knees like, please come spend your money on our ads. And then like the next email is, well, but we actually are taking your money, but we don't know where the money's going. It's just going into the Zucker zone.
Right, exactly, the Zucker zone, where all the conservatives sit there at that, what was that summit, and they're like, oh, really? I think you're Ernest Zucker. Please don't harm me.
And he's like, I am a human. Drink the water.
I am a human. Drink the water. I wonder what George Soros is doing right now. Round him up.
That was awesome.
Here's my question. So with that, that's how we met.
Yeah.
The result there was you spoke with top legal brass at Facebook?
They had some outside counsel. The outside counsel were very helpful. The inside folks, they had to get to the right folks. But ultimately, there was none of this, screw you, we're not going to do what you want. What you're saying is completely, bogus. It was, okay, here, we're going to apply your money. Here's your money back. Here, I mean, it was a resolution that got us what we needed and in a place to where they had
The resolution was a little more acquiescent than that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it was resolved outside of court, so we can't necessarily discuss it. But listen, they weren't like bullshit. They weren't talking. They were A, because they weren't Pentelis, but B, they didn't deny it. It was a result.
And the point was, hey, if there's a problem going forward, we'll be there to make sure it's okay. And look, there's got to be a fairness here to say, Facebook's one of the largest employers in the country.
Sure.
There's a lot of people, and there's maybe at times where you could say, hey, someone's acting rogue, or hey, maybe there's an unintentional. But the Gizmodo article was most important because it wasn't just one person saying, hey, I looked in the cubicle next door and this guy's deleting conservative pages, right? It was like, no, there's a whole room of people, and then actually we have papers, and the papers say ban the conservatives, right? It's like, well, I accidentally printed this policy and put it into place for years. I mean, that's not. There's a difference there.
Out, all right? It was a draft.
And part of the resolution with Facebook, I think we can say this was, we're going to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Right. And so that, we took it with the word, things did change. There was,
a little bit.
A little bit is a little change.
A little bit change.
A little bit change.
Baby steps in the elevator.
And then really,
baby steps, DMT, sex party in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, all true. And so, we move on, right? We move on to get back to the business of content, of red-faced aliens.
Hold on a minute. No.
And that's what we get to, right?
Yeah.
That's like, hey, go back to the content.
They said this is not going to. Yeah, we wanted to get back to the content, and this can happen to any of you. You know this. We've tried to focus on content. We've built up Mug Club to hedge our bets. After this is another example of what happened. Facebook started. Before we get to James O'Keefe very soon, Facebook started something called show pages. And they reached out to us and they said, hey, we'd like you to be a show page, which was shows basically, as I understood it, multimedia type pages would be in someone's feed, would be given priority. Basically, you would automatically appear at the top of the feed. I don't know exactly what it was. But lower level people reached out and said, we think you're the perfect kind of content for a show page. And we said, well, hold on, how is this going to work once we convert it? What if it doesn't work? What if can we convert back? And they said, you know what? All right, fine. We'll give it a go. And they came back to us and said, we can't make you a show page.
Because we
watched
said,
what? Content. Why? And they said, you're not eligible. So here's what's happened. It's the same thing has happened with YouTube. When they look at just the numbers, when they look at just the impact, they go, hey, this is the exact kind of content we want on our platform. Very highly engaged. It's content that people are watching on YouTube, for example. We keep people on site. You watch an average of 12 minutes per video, over 30 minutes on a podcast. We play by every single rule, and they change it. So they said, please, 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 please turn your show into a show page. We want you to be one of these pioneers as a multimedia show page. Then you're not allowed to do it. And we always suspected one thing too. We had this, we called it here the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube Facebook sort of equation, where if we would have 20 or 30,000 viewers on YouTube, we'd have 1,000 on Facebook. Despite at the time, we would have more fans on Facebook. We'd have, I think we have about 2.5 million fans, something like that. 2.5 million fans. It would be a 10th to a 20th to a 40th the number. You can compare all of the YouTube views to Facebook. We always suspected, we're going, well, hold on a second, our video, that's our bread and butter, but no one sees them on Facebook. And we have screenshot after screenshot after screenshot of people sending us saying, we're not seeing your stuff in our feed. And that, again, comes to, we'll never let this happen again, Crowder. We promise. And we're going, well, wait a second, we think this is happening again.
Well, hold on. Now, remember, one of the possible explanations here is that they have the crappiest live stream product on the planet.
That's very
I mean,
possible.
one of their main defenses could be, well, it's because our product is the worst. So, I mean, that's, okay, in their defense, I mean, you got to think of the devil's advocate arguments. They could, literally, they could come down and say, I'm so sorry, it's our fault. We cannot do this because we are the worst.
I heard that the WWE live streams on Facebook are super huge. They're like 50,000 viewers at any given time, and they run fine. So
but I
it's
heard
just
a lot
replicants
of that stuff.
of McMahon. That's it.
I heard a lot of that stuff might be scripted though, so I don't know.
It's fake, fake news. It's fake news. Fantel is fake news. I'm sorry. I just love the Greek Montreal stuff. And then, so explain that brings us to. We'll have him on in a second. That brings us to what was just revealed in the O'Keefe video. So, do you want to tell people before we bring James out?
Sure. So, so most recently, James O'Keefe was, I'm sure everyone's familiar with some of his prior work in doing undercover videos and whatnot, but was able to get some just amazing insider information, and not just someone who decided they wanted to give an anonymous tip, but someone who's willing to put their life at risk, their career, their professional life at risk, to describe what was going on behind the scenes regarding throttling. I think
it's called
Deboost is the name of the program, but throttling of live streams, and specifically, again, Steven Crowder's at the top of that.
And what's important here is I'm this page, and the only reason why I don't want to do I want to talk about myself and Von Braun, Joe. I just what I'm saying, we are unfortunately an example of potentially anybody, but we are the only, as far as I know, page that was fingered in both the Gizmodo article back then and now with video live. Big because we got so few viewers. Then this dropped from James O'Keefe. And we're sitting there going, okay, he has the code. He has the actual code that's baked into our page. Again, tell me that that's not a dishonest business practice. If you tell us you can't say the word tranny, all right, fine. You tell me you're not going to verify us on Instagram. Okay, fine, but you can't bake in code that you don't tell us about that inhibits our ability to make a living. Speaking of which, hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube, which is really the only place you're probably watching. But more important, join ladoscudder.com/mugclub for 27 cents a day, and subscribe on iTunes as well so you can listen to the audio version. And if we get completely shadow banned or deplatformed, at least we can tell you on the iTunes. I think real quick, let's get him on. Do we have James? We do have. We have him here, Bill. I know you'd like to. It's not cross-examining because he's not. We're not in court here. But James O'Keefe, ProjectVeritas.com/brave. I know they're asking people out there, everyone out there, to carry cameras with you. And really, if you don't have the hidden camera stuff, you can use your phone. We've used that in the past. We're just using an iPhone. I'm on the phone. No, I'm catching you in a felony. James O'Keefe, how are you, sir?
Good to be with you. Sorry to hear about the deboosting, but I'm here to help you answer with information.
Well, I appreciate it. I know you let me know about this. You sent me the video, and I saw the response here from The Verge. And then I know Bill has some questions. Or Bill, do you want to lead this off as far as your questions with James?
I would. James, thanks for being available. Obviously, everyone's been following this very closely, and the work is really appreciated, I know, across the community. And you know, probably my first question right off the bat, and I think what a lot of people are interested in knowing is, how did you understand the credibility of the information you were that you were obtaining, and what steps did you take to make sure that it was verifiably correct?
Well, that's a great question.
How do we know you're not a liar? Go ahead.
Well, this took a long time. Let's see, where do I start? So about a year ago, we had this insider send us these documents, and this was a lot of documents, and I'm not an engineer, so I don't know exactly what they mean. Fast forward a couple months, we get a lot of information. We get a lot of tips at Project Veritas, as you can imagine, from a lot of people claiming to be a lot of things.
Right.
And we find out that this person did, in fact, work, or she claimed to work in content review intellectual property. So we look at the documents, and you know, my team went through all these documents, and we see the word deboost, and we go, whoa, because you don't have to be an engineer when you see this term. And I have it in front of me, iAction deboost live distribution. And there was a screenshot of Mike Cernovich's. This woman had actually taken out a camera and took a picture of the computer screen showing this deboost. So we're like, oh my God, I can't believe we didn't notice this earlier. Answer your question, I could tell the whole story, but I'll cut it to the bottom line is, I have other sources inside Facebook that are not willing to go on the record, of course. And a couple of them logged into the back end and showed me this engineer's name, Danny Ben David, showed me his definition of deboosting. So I know this is real. I know that it's not just a made-up document that someone photoshopped, because I saw it with my own eyes from another source that corroborated the identity of the engineer and the document itself. But the other source did not have access to the other part of Facebook where this deboosting activity took place. He could only corroborate that deboosting was a thing, and that Danny Ben David is in fact someone who works for Facebook. And number three, Facebook's response corroborates the fact that this woman is real, because they fired her, and I'm actually quite captivated by the response, because they say it fired her for in fact leaking these documents. That's a big deal.
Notice no denial.
Because I did not know why they fired her. We couldn't report how they fired her. We thought maybe she got fired because she was a bad employee. No, they fired her for leaking these documents.
Would this meet the standard for evidence? Does his case hold water?
So in terms of having some substantial evidence, having someone who can corroborate what the evidence is, that is actually what it purports to be, and then can actually explain it, you're going to hit those authenticity, you're going to hit admissibility, so it goes a long way to what you have. And from a practical standpoint, it's not just having one piece of evidence, and that's kind of why I wanted to ask about the credibility. Everything that we do here, and I know that you do as well, is based on not just a rumor or a hearsay or a random anonymous tip, but it's taking those things and verifying them separately and individually. And so that's knowing what the credibility is in the steps you took, in addition to afterwards getting, essentially verified by Facebook, acknowledging. I think, Stephen, you raised a very good point.
Not to include the 7+1, by the way. That's not very well researched, but that'll come up next.
later. But the other big point there is that this was the opportunity for them to deny, James, the work that you had done, and they didn't. They, in fact, very much corroborated that these documents are there. They could have said these documents are fake.
But before we get to that, I do have a question. How do you know I was included on the deboost amongst the deboosted?
So, and I have a copy of the, this is from the video. This is the actual code. It says Sigma iAction deboost live distribution. This whistleblower took a screenshot of Mike Cernovich's page, and then she saw this code appear on your page, Stephen. We didn't get a screenshot of your page, but we did get a screenshot of the code that appeared on your page. This is Psi Sigma iAction deboost live distribution by this engineer.
And that's something that would be discovered in a motion for discovery, motion for
infringement. And I asked the whistleblower insider, whatever you want to call her, I said, would you swear under oath in a court of law that you saw this on Steven Crowder's page? Is 100%. She saw this deboost action taken on your page and the Daily Caller's page and Mike Cernovich's page. She did not see it on any other liberal or political liberal pages. She only saw it on your page. So then I asked you, Steve, and I said, well, did you do anything malicious? Did you talk about suicide in such a way that would get you banned?
I probably have, in the sense that I've said don't do it.
Well, that's you shouldn't be banned for that. And if you are deboosted, they should be notifying you.
Yes, we certainly were not notified, of the deboosting. And I think something that's really important here as well, James, and you didn't know this before you released this article. This is how I met Bill Richmond. We just talked about the Gizmodo article because there was a leak where someone said we were manually throttling pages. Before that, Bill and I had talked about this. We had several videos trending at the top of Facebook. One was guns, and I can't remember what the other video was. It could have been the Feminist Film Festival. And then afterwards, we never trended again. And we had an issue with accounting, and this article came out, and I spoke with Bill. And you didn't know that I was one of the few people named to have been manually throttled before, and I think I'm the only one named in both of these stories. Back in that one, it was Chris Kyle Foundation, Ted Cruz for President, I think Breitbart, and yours truly. And here, the only three that I've heard named are I believe you said Cernovich, Daily Caller, and myself. So a big part of us dealing with Facebook was, hey, this ain't going to happen again, and that's why this story was such a surprise.
Well, one of the most shocking things about the story, and this is what the insider said, is that what makes this so damning, what makes this so egregious, is that listen, let me defend Facebook for 1 second here. Facebook has thousands of employees that police. There are some anomalies where some crazy low-level employee takes down, Ben Shapiro, or takes down Dennis Prager. I actually saw that happen. The insider showed me, some things, and I saw that they get put back up. I mean, you can protest, you can say, listen, I didn't do anything wrong. But
and it's justified with notoriously anti-Semitic Jewish scholar Nazi Dennis Prager. Yeah, we get
Dennis Prager, right? But if he's some anomaly, some low-level left-wing employee in Facebook takes the guy down, he gets put back up. And there is a commitment to police this sort of crazed, extremist employees at Facebook, because there are, you have 60,000 people. Once in a while, someone's going to take someone down, and there's adults in the room. But in this case, the deboosting, you guys don't know that it's happening to you. That's the thing that is very shocking. That is the reason why I asked her. She said, well, the reason why I chose to lose my job and leaks these documents, she actually went on food stamps for a few months because she was broke and unemployed, is because she said the people don't know that it's occurring. It doesn't even show up on Facebook's on Facebook's task management system. It doesn't show up that they're doing it. And I've got 75 pages of code, iAction. It's automatic. It's machine learning. They go through your videos, Stephen. They convert your videos into text. They find keywords. The keywords trigger an algorithm which automatically deboosts you, and you don't know that.
We called it something in the office. I think Quarterblack knows this. We called it sort of the Facebook to YouTube ratio, in the sense that we were almost guaranteed whatever stream viewership we had on YouTube, it would be anywhere from 1/10 to 1/30th the amount on Facebook, and same thing for videos that were uploaded. And here's the thing with YouTube, and I'm not letting YouTube off the hook here. Certainly, when we just talked about ABC, Disney, and the broken system there, we can see how long people are watching our videos for, where they're coming in. We can look at demographics. We can tell exactly how many people are watching, and we can never really tell that with Facebook, and we haven't been able to monetize videos as far as I know on Facebook. But when you have consistently videos, I think our average viewership is close to the million mark. And then on Facebook it's 40,000, 50,000, when there's still a couple million fans who've liked that page proactively. We just assumed it was, well, Facebook's dying off because nobody likes it anymore, and they're snapping wiener pics on Snapchat and Instagram. Turns out that might not be the case. Did you have some other important...
Well, one of the other questions is in a lot of these instances, when you hear from one of the social media platforms, they'll say, you broke this rule, however subjective or vague the rule might be, and so we're going to have this consequence. But at least we have a rule that we can argue with or fight with or that kind of thing. Here, the response from Facebook is very interesting. They say, well, you may have acted with misconduct by uploading to the live stream pre-recorded videos. But what you don't find is, where's the example of this actually happening? If this really was a rule that Facebook had in its policies at some point in the past, and it was actually violated, why hide behind a secret algorithm?
I think James has that quote, because I don't think we filled the audience in on that. They did respond, and they didn't deny that they've been doing this.
I can read it to you, or you can throw it on screen, but I'm going to read you Facebook's response to this iAction deboost. So what's interesting about the response, Bill, is that again, within like an hour of our story breaking, Facebook corporate responds to their buddies at TheVerge.com, and all these mainstream media reporters are buddy with the people inside Facebook. Facebook says, quote, some pages that tried to game the system by uploading pre-recorded videos to the Live API, a violation of Facebook's policy. If moderators found the video, the action deboost tag would be applied to undo the newsfeed boost otherwise applied to live videos. And Stephen, I asked you, do you recall doing this, or
no one here has ever done it. I know Quarter Black has been in charge of that. No one here has ever done it. But if it would have been done, it would have been done a long time ago once to test, because we thought there was something fishy with our live streams. Going, well, hold on a second, we're getting 1,000 viewers on a live stream here, and we're getting 20, 30,000 on YouTube. What's going on? Let's see if we upload this as a video separately versus a live feed. If it would have been done, and I don't believe that it has, I just don't want to be put on the hook for that, it would have been done once to test a theory that we thought Facebook is doing exactly what they appeared to be doing. So, no, I don't know that we have done it, and we certainly haven't done it consistently, and their answer isn't very, to me, it's not very clear if they just deboost that video, that feed, or if they deboost the whole page, because we spent a lot of money on Facebook advertising, and a big part of that was them courting us, saying, hey, the great thing here, especially with media, is you're going to appear in people's timelines. We really want to be a multimedia platform. They came to us. So that's why it would be nice to have clarification.
Well, another fact that's very interesting is that if you look at the code in the video where it says Sigma distribution, Sigma is this name of this program authored by this engineer, Danny Ben David, with the intention of rooting out like suicide. I mean, people on Facebook live stream, Facebook's a big company. People kill themselves on Facebook. There's pornography. There's people getting chopped in half. There's all gory child porn. The content review agents go through and go through that. So this system was apparently used to combat things like that. That does not exist in Facebook's response, but my insider showed me that the reason why this was taken, allegedly, was to combat suicidal or violent things. So I'm hearing two different explanations of what this deboost is for. If you want my opinion as someone who's done this for 10 years, hidden camera, exposing people, I think they're just caught. And they're not debating what we've exposed. They're just sort of obfuscating here. And I think you guys are owed an explanation. I think you need to see the back end, and you need to know what's going on with your live stream.
So in their defense, if it's the child porn issue, they could have seen your nudie scene and been confused.
Yeah, I just look like a child.
Bill is very baby-like. They could have thought it was cherubim porn. You any other follow-ups here for James?
The big thing is like I was saying, is if there really was a violation, then they lead with saying you have violated X policy instead of a post hoc, well, okay, our response now for having done this for however many years or months it's been going on, and only to your pages is because we think you may have done something wrong. But notice the response does not even say the pages at issues or the pages that were discussed or Steven Crowder did these things. They just say kind of generally, oh, well, that's why we did it. And that might even be true, but I think, James, your point is correct. There has to be an opening of the kimono. Let's share what exactly
you
are
have to
the
go to the
facts
kimono
here.
reference, of course.
Yeah,
You're just trying to. He's trying to make sure if there is to be a lawsuit, that he has the Asian card in there, but it's really only half a kimono. It's a very short kimono. It's like Rob Lowe in Thank You for Smoking. I do have a question for you though, and then a follow. Maybe James can also help clarify this. How important would it be if, let's say, is it a motion for discovery? Is that what it is?
Well, you would serve discovery requests.
Okay,
sure.
so how important would it be to, let's say, a case if it were verified that this is a real thing, and it seems like it's a real thing, they're not denying it, and that it was not equally applied across conservative and liberal platforms? Would that change it if they said, well, this was applied pretty much consistently across leftist platforms, not just conservatives?
What it would do is it would only mean that everyone is being conned. That's really what it would mean. It does make it worse if it's targeted to a certain political group, just as if it would be bad if it was gone after a certain race or a religion or that type of thing. But it's essentially saying a political creed or a race or religion is bad, but it's somewhat like hate crimes. The crime is still a crime, regardless of whether it's a hateful or targeted at a specific group.
And James, can you confirm anything like that it was? I know you said your source mentioned this, but do you have any information that could confirm that people on the right were more unfairly targeted?
Yes, there's a part two of the story. There's a deboosting, and then there's this other part of the story. I got these documents on my desk, so I have my facts correct here. These are all screenshots taken by the woman who blew the whistle, this is something called a troll report where they identify language that there's a whole bunch of tactics they use. There's a glossary of words that are used by individuals. And this guy confirms that they do, in fact, demote bad content.
Can you give us some examples of those words? Because I read this, I've seen this, and I was obviously not appalled, but I wish I could say surprised. Not surprised, just it was really more of a disappointed parent, like, you did that one, Facebook? You and your facts straight, yes, documents.
I want to make sure I get my facts straight, and this is incontrovertible proof, Stephen. This is not my words. The whistleblower. These are documents obtained of this troll report where they use words like lulz, normie, mainstream media, MSM, the term MSM. But these are terms appropriated by conservatives. Liberals don't really use the term MSM on social media.
Isn't SJW on there?
SJW's on there. What else?
What no leftist channel is. It's not like they've reappropriated the word and go, we're proudly SJW. I mean, maybe if you found some like transgender black single mom with rickets, maybe there's someone who would carry that mantle. But that's something, if they are saying these are words to throttle pages, putting in SJW would definitely disproportionately target conservatives. And I don't know why LOL is on that list.
Yeah, that's a weird.
So no, it's LULZ. It's like it's a meme. So this is after. So here's the deal. On the inside of the Facebook, we saw the Seiji Yamamoto character, one of the top engineers, right after the 2016 election.
Guy from Nintendo.
Meme culture kind of helped elect President Trump. So they decided to have an influence on elections, and this is one of the most powerful parts of the story. They assigned it what's called a troll score under the fake account index, a special feature leading. This is a direct quote: leading up to important elections, unquote. Identifying these keywords that conservatives use. This is like a big deal. And Mark Zuckerberg said under oath in testimony last spring that they don't do this, that they don't make political determinations. Yes, they ban Klansmen and pornography and violence, but they don't. But this engineer, Seiji Yamamoto, and he's not a low-level guy. He's the head of the whole department that heads this stuff. We have a copy of the confidential report where they identify these words. And it's all in the documentation that this whistleblower gave to us.
Do you have any more questions?
That's it for right now.
Okay, that's it for right now. Well, James, Mr. O'Keefe, please do keep us in the loop, obviously, because we do have a half-Asian Kraken here. Kraken?
Kraken.
I don't know why I keep saying it incorrectly. It is projectveritas.com/brave, not to be confused with that awful Pixar film. It was a big swing and a miss for Pixar with the redhead. James, thank you for being here, brother. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
And no, you don't need a break. We don't need a break. We're going to be going to a 7+1 here in just now, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on.
You forgot the one in the chamber.
8.
By the way, there is no one in the chamber. We checked this. For people who are just tuning in now, we checked it. We cleared it. This week is actually, if you haven't noticed the theme, 7+1 big tech legal dramas. Yeah, we're looking.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, I had a quick question for a half Asian lawyer.
You were both muted during the James O'Keefe interview, in case you.
Well, I'm just sitting here listening and soaking it all in.
Yeah.
Has there been any widespread throttling and deboosting essentially of liberal accounts? Like have a lot of liberals come forward? Because all I've really heard, and this may be my own bias,
he literally just said that while you were in the bathroom.
Oh,
he literally just said no. As far as he knows, as far as he knows, because of the trigger words they use, like any page that has SJW.
No, but you haven't seen it in the media. I thought I knew the answer. I think the answer would be no, but I'm asking him, like, is there anything behind the scenes where, like, it's both conservatives and liberals getting screwed? It just seems like conservatives are getting screwed, and I just wanted it to be not my opinion, but fact.
Well, hold on. You don't know yet. That's why you have to sue.
Allegedly.
There's the word. There's the key word.
According to the eyewitness.
And the mountains of documents that we have.
A phone photo of a computer screen, allegedly. It is that the specific code was only seen on conservative pages. And of those conservative pages, the ones that were memorable, Mike Cernovich has got an actual screenshot, which was not able to get a screenshot of Stevens, but affirmatively said, I saw the code on Stevens' page.
Wow.
And then said,
and it was not denied.
I've seen other pages that did not have the code.
Right.
So is it possible that it is on other pages? Absolutely. Is that something that Facebook could come out and be like, hey, guys, actually, it's on everyone. Hey, look, we can show you the usage that we actually only did it if you uploaded a pre-recorded video to the live feed, which is the excuse they've given.
Right.
But they have not said any of that.
No, they haven't said any of that. They've
None
said that we
at all.
violated a rule, which we may or may not have violated once. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar that we have never done that, and if we did, you don't get to throttle an entire page.
Yeah.
Something else I was going to say. This is one thing, too, why, and I really did enjoy Alex Jones on Joe Rogan's show, and they've both been on the show. I consider them both friends.
Great.
But there was a point where they were talking, they're saying, is it true that on YouTube now they demonetize any videos that have the word truth or liberty in them? And they're like, yes, it is. And here's the thing. It's not. So the lie is not necessary because the truth is bad enough. We have videos up there like the truth about guns, the truth about, we have multiple videos that have the words the truth in them, and not all of them have been demonetized.
Right.
So is it true that conservative videos have been unfairly targeted? Absolutely. Have we seen a disproportionate amount of demonetization? Yes. But you don't need to lie and say, hey, I heard that any video that even has truth in the title is demonetized. Yeah. It's not accurate, and it doesn't help the legal cases going forward. This is something you need to understand. There's bitching on social media, and then there's actually taking legal matters into your own hands and taking the proper steps and using the avenues that are available to you. So just my only point is, if you don't know, don't lie, because then you toss the lies in with all the truth. All right, but these are the 7+1 big tech legal dramas, which really shouldn't be surprised. They were missed. It's almost like big tech's run out of ideas at the DMT sex parties. Number 7, to copyright a mockingbird. Yeah, that almost... That's not good use of an attorney's time. Number 6. This is no surprise. Your favorite, My Cousin Dorsey. Yeah, that's number 6. 7+1 big legal dramas. I want to hear Pentelis read one. Give us number 5, Pentelis.
Number 5 is a few good men-hating Facebook engineers.
We have the best Photoshop team, and I've seen Stephen Colbert's Photoshops and Bill Maher's. They're just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
We really have great people, even Brendan.
This is better.
I'll say this one because I'm already guilty of the hate speech. Number 4, and Justice for All tranny makeup tutorials. Yeah, I don't. There you go.
Man, I look good.
Let's have Bill. Can you do number 3? Can you read it?
Absolutely. Anatomy of a bullshit claim.
There you go. Oh, look
that's
at
a legal
that.
term.
That is. That's it's not a very iconic poster, that one. Number 2, Inherit the Windbags. Yeah, for those who don't know, that was the infamous monkey trial. The actual monkey trial. People are, it was the evolution trial. Yeah. No one talks about how back then just a lot of the evolutionary theory was incredibly racist. They just gloss over it. Like, hold on a second. You want to accuse the conservative Christians of being like, do you know what some of you believe there? We don't want to. We don't want to. We can't even. Hey, why don't you hit us number 2 there, Pentelis?
All right. Number 2, an uncivil half Asian.
Yes, an uncivil half Asian.
Oh, there he is.
Look at that chin.
Very serious.
There's a career here.
I do not
By the
look
way,
that good.
we have a major conspiracy episode coming up, and it is about the graphic designer for all early 90s through early 2000 John Travolta's films.
Very serious.
John Travolta films. I'm pretty sure it was the same person. I'm not saying Illuminati, but number 2, can't forget number 2, legally half Asian. Yeah, not so much a drama. I love how amused. I don't know if I should be concerned that my legal representation is as amused as the part-time Greek Montrealer.
We both have good taste in humor.
Number 1, top big tech legal dramas is Presumed Guilty. Yeah, that's just striking similarity to Harrison Ford. And the +1 this week, +1 top 10, top 7, top 7+1, the +1. I keep saying the +1. The +1 top big tech legal dramas. Aladdin. There you go. That has been this week's 7+1.
A whole new world.
You forgot the fan in the chamber.
Well, thank you. What the hell?
You forgot the fan in the chamber.
Again.
Nice. Time. Jeez.
Did you hit it twice?
It just played itself again.
Are we? Is this the show?
I think this is.
Do I have a TriCaster? Do I have a TriCaster with Parkinson's?
Oh, like 16 bullets.
Pretty confident it's just a stutter. Just a stutter.
You're also very bad. Oh, wait, 8? Yeah, 16. You're right. That's right. 7+1. I was thinking 6+1. Because I was thinking the
It's like
Walther
it's
PPK, the PPKS is 7+1. Yeah.
I don't think you were doing all
All right,
that
well,
math.
thank you. No, I wasn't really doing the math. Again, I've been having to do legal crap all week. We are going to keep you updated. So if we were to, let's say, file a suit, would we be able to let people viewing right now know by sometime next week?
Yeah, we definitely will. I mean, look, there's a lot of work that we put in, not just on the legal team, but working with you and your team to make sure that everything that we're doing, we're verifying it, we're checking against the legal structure, we're looking about what the natural consequences are, and also weighing it against the fact that it's going to take time away from content and away from the audience. So that's why we have to go out, do the right thing, both to the audience and from a legal standpoint. Also, being that this isn't just about you; it's about you and everyone else. I mean, there have been times where both the left and the right have stood up and said, what are these social media companies doing with their shadow banning and their ridiculous rules and their subjective application of them? Here, again, though, consistently, this only one name between Gizmodo and James O'Keefe's investigation is Steven Crowder. And so...
It gives us more of a leg to stand on so that we can hopefully pave the way for the rest of you. Because I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, and I'm hoping for someone else to come. I want to see other conservative channels out there. I want to see more. I want to see you guys grow. And to do that, listen, it's a multi-tiered approach. Join up at Mug Club. You help us fight this battle. You help us have not only Bill Richmond, but hopefully, I don't know, clerks? Are they clerks?
The associates.
I shut the associates. I shut the clerk. I shut the clerk. Clerks and more on the legal team. And listen, let me know if... Here's one thing. A lot of people go, sue Charles Hermes, sue Twitter, sue... Well, it's at some point that does mean that there are going to be some days, some weeks, if we're in court or I have to take the stand, where you're going to miss out on the show. And that's a part of what Mug Club is. And I want to make sure that if we go down this road, that you understand the magnitude of it, that you understand the severity of it, that you understand we are doing it for you. And so I want to know if you're willing to sacrifice some content in the short term for us to be free from the shackles of corporate censorship long term. Half Asian lawyer Bill Richmond, I look forward to the updates. Thank you very much. Pentelis Comedy, go subscribe to him on YouTube. He's one of the funniest men I know.
Amen.
Break, and we'll be right back with the close.
Hey, Mug Club members. There's a lot of crime going on in Mexico, and the drug cartels are sort of infiltrating the suburbs, and MS-13 is all over Long Island, with OxyContin. If you want to help, just stick with calling the police and stuff like that. I don't recommend actually getting involved in sort of, citizens' arrests and sort of like, what are you guys doing there? And I'm going to tell the cops, and that doesn't turn out great.
It's a heartbreaking sight. A cold, hungry, half-Asian lawyer with no one to sue. For only 27 cents a day, you can ensure a steady, nutritious diet of big tech shadow banners and corporate hypocrites to a hungry half-Asian lawyer. Feed half-Asian lawyer Bill Richmond. Join Mug Club today.
Hello, Hollywood Crowder viewers. Hopper here. Don't forget that you can listen to the podcast on the go on iTunes and SoundCloud. And the audio, you can download it, and you can listen at your leisure.
Yeah, I want to be clear here that I wasn't joking. Like, there's people you don't like. Oh, Trump's a Nazi, and I hate these Proud Boys and these patriots. Yell at them. Sure, do that. But then when they're actual gangsters or actual criminals, maybe take a step back. Yeah, let them sort of mind their own business, and you should probably mind yours. Tell my wife I love her. And that picture wasn't me.